Tippi Hedren believed she had found her big break in Hollywood when Alfred Hitchcock hired her in 1961. Instead, what she encountered was a nightmare. The legendary director developed a disturbing obsession with her, engaging in stalking behavior, issuing threats to her career, and ultimately attempting to assault her in her dressing room. Now, 6 decades later, at the age of 93, Tippi is living with over 500 lions, going viral on TikTok, and courageously sharing the truth about the man who tried to break her. Tippi Hedren was born on January 19, 1930, in a small town called New Ulm, Minnesota, during the difficult era of the Great Depression when many families were struggling to make ends meet. Her father, Bernard Hedren, owned a modest store in Lafayette, but maintaining it was a constant challenge. He gave Tippi her nickname, which means little girl in Swedish, as a tender tribute to their Scandinavian heritage. For many years, people mistakenly believed she was born in 1935. And she did not correct this until 2004. This age discrepancy may have worked in her favor, as Hollywood at the time favored younger stars, potentially helping her remain in the spotlight longer. At the age of 13 during World War II, Tippi began modeling for a local store in Minneapolis, marking her first foray into the fashion world. However, her aspirations were paused when her father's health began to deteriorate. In hopes that a change in climate might help him, the family relocated to San Diego, California, a move that would ultimately bring her closer to the heart of the entertainment industry. Tippi's family roots were a blend of Swedish, German, and Norwegian ancestry. Her grandparents had emigrated from Sweden, while her mother's lineage introduced German and Norwegian elements. She was raised in a community rich with German bohemian traditions, which exposed her to a diverse cultural background. These early influences helped shape her confidence and adaptability, traits she would rely on throughout her career. In recognition of her achievements and heritage, she was inducted into the Scandinavian American Hall of Fame in 2010, at the age of 18. Tippi made a bold and life-altering decision. In 1948, she bought a one-way ticket to New York City to pursue her dream of becoming a model. With little more than her determination and striking looks, she quickly made progress. Soon after arriving, she signed with the prestigious Eileen Ford Agency, a major accomplishment for someone from a small-town background. Her modeling career skyrocketed, and she began appearing in renowned magazines such as Life, Glamour, and the Saturday Evening Post. In 1950, she graced the cover of 17 magazine, wearing a red dress and caught mid-whirl. That particular issue became a bestseller and helped establish her as a rising star in the fashion industry. Tippi's modeling success extended beyond the United States. She traveled to London, where she worked on television commercials for a British tea company. At a charity function, she even had the rare opportunity to meet Prince Philip, a moment she would later describe as unforgettable. This international exposure significantly boosted her recognition, turning her into a familiar face both in America and abroad. Tippi Hedren's life changed forever on October 13, 1961, thanks to a simple television commercial for Sego, a popular diet drink. In the ad, she strolled down a street exuding elegance with her blonde hair impeccably styled. A man whistled as she walked by, prompting her to turn around and smile. Though brief and straightforward, the commercial caught the eye of one very important viewer. Alfred Hitchcock happened to see it on the Today Show and was instantly intrigued. "Who's that girl?" he asked his team, and that single question launched a chain of events that would pull Tippi directly into the orbit of Hitchcock's meticulously controlled world. That very same day, Tippi received a mysterious phone call from an agent at MCA Universal. The agent told her that a producer wanted to meet her but did not disclose who it was. As curiosity piqued, Tippi agreed to visit Universal Studios. A few days later, on October 17th, she found herself sitting across from Lew Wasserman, the powerful head of the studio. To her astonishment, he offered her a 7-year contract on the spot. What she didn't yet realize was that the offer was made on behalf of Alfred Hitchcock. Thinking of her young daughter and the stability the opportunity might bring, she signed the contract quickly. It was only after she had signed the paperwork that she discovered Hitchcock was the one behind the entire arrangement. He had orchestrated the process so skillfully that she didn't even understand what she was agreeing to until it was too late to walk away. Once Tippi was under contract, Hitchcock needed to evaluate her acting potential. He arranged for a screen test, but this was not just an ordinary audition. It was, in fact, the most expensive screen test in Hollywood history at that time. Hitchcock invested $25,000, a staggering amount in 1961, to ensure the test was executed perfectly. Over the course of 3 days, Tippi performed scenes from some of Hitchcock's earlier films, including Rebecca and Notorious. To assist her, Hitchcock enlisted Martin Balsam, a respected actor from Psycho, to work alongside her. Despite having no formal acting training, Tippi committed herself to learning how to portray these complex characters. Hitchcock directed every moment of the test personally, not merely evaluating her skills, but molding her into the exact image he envisioned for his next leading lady. A few weeks later, Hitchcock invited Tippi to a high-end restaurant for lunch. During the meal, he finally revealed that she had been chosen to star in his upcoming film, The Birds. To commemorate the occasion, he gifted her a gold brooch shaped like 3 birds in flight, a symbolic nod to her new role. The news sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Industry insiders were stunned that an unknown model with no acting background had been cast in a leading role for a major Hitchcock production. Even Tippi herself was overwhelmed by the development. She later recalled, "I was so stunned. It never occurred to me that I would be given a leading role in a major motion picture. I had great big tears in my eyes." Following this announcement, Hitchcock became heavily involved in transforming Tippi from a model into a screen actress. Between January and March 1962, he took charge of every aspect of her development. He arranged acting lessons, sent her to observe animal behavior at zoos to prepare for the birds, and even had her study art history and wine tasting to refine her sophistication. Renowned costume designer Edith Head created custom wardrobes for Tippi, not just for the film, but also for her public appearances. Hitchcock also made the strategic decision that she would be credited solely as Tippi. Believing the mononym added an air of mystery to her persona. He even dictated her diet and fitness regimen, carefully sculpting her public image to align with his ideal of the perfect leading lady. Filming for The Birds commenced on March 5, 1962, and continued until July 10th. For Tippi, the 6-month shoot was grueling. She was given only one afternoon off each week and found little time to rest. Initially, the experience was exhilarating, and Hitchcock praised her to the press, saying she was incredible and that she already shows the highs and lows of terror. However, the production soon took a dark turn. The infamous bird attack scene in the upstairs bedroom became a waking nightmare. Before filming, Tippi asked Hitchcock why her character would venture upstairs when it was clearly dangerous. His blunt response was, "Because I tell you to." She had been assured that mechanical birds would be used, so she agreed to film the scene. But when the cameras rolled, she realized she had been misled. For 5 consecutive days, live birds were thrown at her. Prop men wearing heavy gloves hurled gulls, crows, and ravens directly at her face and body. Their beaks were bound with rubber bands, but the terror was real. Tippi was physically and emotionally drained. In one particularly frightening moment, a bird scratched her cheek, narrowly missing her eye. That incident caused her to break down completely. She sat on set crying, utterly exhausted. A doctor was summoned to examine her and immediately ordered that she'll be given a week of rest. Hitchcock protested, arguing that they needed to finish the scene, but the doctor firmly interrupted, asking, "Are you trying to kill her?" Reluctantly, Hitchcock agreed to suspend filming. Tippi later described that week as one of the most difficult periods of her life. Even Hitchcock seemed disturbed by how far things had gone. Other scenes were no easier. During the phone booth attack sequence, the shatterproof glass unexpectedly broke, showering her with tiny shards. It took makeup artists hours to carefully remove every piece of glass from her face. The entire production used more than 3,200 birds, many of them trained for months. The physical and psychological toll on Tippi was immense, yet her performance remained remarkable. When The Birds premiered on March 28, 1963, it became an instant phenomenon. Though reviews were mixed, the film was a commercial success, earning $1.4 million in the U.S. alone. Tippi's performance drew significant acclaim. And on March 8, 1964, she was awarded the Golden Globe for Most Promising Newcomer. The film's acclaim extended beyond domestic audiences. It was screened at the Cannes Film Festival and later preserved in the U.S. National Film Registry for its cultural significance after The Birds. Alfred Hitchcock cast Tippi in another major project titled Marnie.